The hall was full of voices, but every word cut me. I stood near the table, my hands shaking. I tried to smile, but my father's eyes burned me. "You eat too much," Father said, his voice sharp. "You bring shame to this house." I looked down at my dress. It was tight around my waist. I wanted to disappear. "Father, please," I whispered. "I can change." "I will try." He slammed his hand on the table. The sound echoed like thunder. "You had your chance," he said. "You failed again and again." I felt the guests watching. Their laughter was low, hidden behind cups of wine. My sister Eleanor sat with perfect posture. She kept her face still, but I saw her fingers twist her napkin. She did not speak for me. Mother looked away, her eyes on the floor. I waited for her to defend me, but silence was all I got. "Say something," I begged her. She only pressed her lips tight. Father rose from his chair. He stood tall, his cloak falling around him like a shadow. "Tonight everyone will hear my decision," he said. "My daughter is no longer mine. She is punishment to herself and to this family." My heart stopped. I stepped back, but there was no escape. "What do you mean?" I asked. Gasps spread around the table. Father's voice was loud, clear, cruel. "At dawn, she will leave this house. She will be handed to the Apache warrior." The room turned cold. My skin burned, but inside I froze. "No," I cried. "You cannot do this." "I am your blood. You are disgrace," he said. "The warrior asked for a woman." "You will go," my stomach turned. I felt sick. "Father, I beg you," I said. "Please let me stay. I will cook, I will clean, I will pay for my sins." "You pay with your body now," he said. Laughter rose again from the table. I wanted to cover my ears. "I am not a slave," I shouted. "You are nothing here," he answered. My voice broke. "Eleanor, help me." "Say something." Her eyes flicked to mine. For a moment I thought she would speak, but then she lowered her gaze and folded her hands. "I cannot," she whispered. "You can." I begged. "You are his favorite. Tell him I can change." She shook her head. "I am sorry." Her words stabbed me worse than Father's. I turned to Mother. "Please do not let him send me." "I am your child too." Mother's eyes glistened, but she whispered, "I have no power." My legs felt weak. I grabbed the edge of the table to stand. The guests leaned forward. "Hungry for more shame? See how she cries," one man muttered. "She is too weak," a woman said. I wanted to scream, but my throat closed. Father stepped close. His breath smelled of wine. "You will obey," he said. "At dawn you go." His words were final. "Father, you will regret this," I whispered. "Silence." He roared. The hall went still. My chest rose and fell fast. My heart hurt. I thought of running, but the guards stood at the door. Their spears glistened in the torchlight. I thought of dying, but my hands held on to life. My world had ended, yet I still breathed. The banquet continued. Plates clattered, wine spilled, voices rose again. But I heard nothing. Only Father's words beat inside me. "At dawn you will leave this house." I saw Eleanor's pale face. I saw Mother's bowed head. I saw strangers laughing at my fall, my life as I knew it was gone. I touched my dress, the fabric damp with sweat. I told myself to be strong, but my body shook. Why me? I whispered to myself. Because I was weak, because I was fat, because I was not the daughter Father wanted. The carriage shook hard as we moved. I held my hands tight, afraid to let go. Dust ended through the cracks and I coughed. I whispered, "Is this my new life now?" No one answered me. Mrs. Harrow sat beside me, silent. I looked at her face, searching for comfort. "Did you know Mrs. Harrow?" I asked. My voice cracked. She closed her eyes for a moment. "Yes," she said softly. "I knew." I felt my stomach twist. "You knew Father would send me away. You said nothing?" Her hands trembled in her lap. "I thought silence was mercy," she replied. "Words would only make it worse." I shook my head. "Mercy, you left me alone. I trusted you." The guards outside shouted at each other, their laughter sharp. The wheels hit another stone and I nearly fell forward. My heart beat fast. Why did he do this? I asked again, almost to myself. Because I was not the daughter he wanted? Mrs. Harrow looked away. "You were always strong," she whispered. "But your strength frightened him." I laughed bitterly. Strength? I feel like nothing. The road stretched long. I saw dry fields through the window. The sky held no clouds, only endless sun. I remembered my home garden, the smell of roses. I pressed my hand to the glass. "It is gone," I whispered. Mrs. Harrow leaned closer. "Do not let him break you." Tears filled my eyes. "He already did." The guards' voices grew louder. One shouted, "Move faster! We must reach the ranch before night." My chest tightened. "Ranch? What ranch?" I asked. Mrs. Harrow's lips pressed thin. She avoided my eyes. "Tell me," I demanded. Her voice shook. "It is on Apache land, remote, empty. That is where your father sends you." My blood ran cold. "Alone, with strangers? With enemies?" She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "I cannot change it," she said. I leaned back hard against the seat. "You could have warned me." "I could have run. I could have fought." Her eyes filled with tears. "And then what?" "Guards would have caught you. Your father's word was final." I clenched my fists. Final for him. Not for me. The wheels hit another hole and I bit my lip. I thought of my childhood. I thought of laughter in the holes, my sister's hand in mine, the sound of music. All of it was behind me now, breaking away with every turn of the wheel. "Do you remember when you sang to me?" I asked her suddenly. "When I was small and afraid of storms?" Mrs. Harrow nodded slowly. "Yes, I remember. You held me," I whispered. "You told me the world would be kind." Her face twisted with pain. I lied. Forgive me. I stared at her. "I do not know if I can." The air inside the carriage grew heavy. The guards cursed outside. The horses snorted. The smell of sweat and dust pressed into my skin. I closed my eyes. My chest rose and fell in short breaths. "I am alone now," I said quietly. "No," Mrs. Harrow replied quickly. "I am here." I opened my eyes and looked at her. "But you chose silence. You chose him over me." Her tears fell. She said nothing more. The road grew rougher. Each bump threw me against the seat. My body ached, my spirit burned. The silence between us spread wide. I whispered to myself, "I must survive. Even if no one stands with me, I must." At last, the carriage slowed. The guards shouted orders, their boots thudding on hard ground. I leaned forward, my breath stuck in my throat. The wheels creaked, the horses stopped. Through the window I saw it, dry land, empty fences, broken posts. A barren ranch stood against the wide sky. No welcome, no life. Only exile. My hands shook as I pressed them together. "This is where it begins," I whispered. The door opened with a loud groan. Dust and heat rushed in. A guard's hand pointed. I saw him for the first time that night. He stood like a mountain in the doorway. His body filled the space. His scars caught the firelight, and his eyes, cold, dark, unreadable, stared straight at me. I froze. He did not smile. He did not speak. He only pointed toward the table. My voice trembled. You want me to sit?" No answer. He moved his hand again, sharper this time. I stepped closer, heart racing. Are you Kane?" His silence pressed on me like heavy chains. "I can leave if you want," I whispered. "I didn't ask to be here." He looked at me, then turned his face away. I swallowed and sat down. A wooden plate waited with bread and meat. "You want me to eat?" I asked. He gave one short nod. I picked up the bread, hands shaking. "Why don't you say something?" His eyes burned like coals. Still no words. I took a small bite. The silence made every sound louder. The crackle of fire, the beat of my heart, the scrape of my teeth. Finally, I pushed the food away. "I can't do this if you stare at me like that." He leaned forward. His scar pulled at the corner of his mouth. For a moment, I thought he might hit me. Instead, he set his hand flat on the table. A scar ran across his knuckles, too. I whispered, "Do you hate me?" Still nothing. "Did my father pay you?" His jaw tightened. "Or did you take me because no one else wanted me?" My voice broke. He stood suddenly. The chair scraped the floor. He walked to the corner, poured water into a tin cup, and set it in front of me. I flinched. You don't have to be cruel," I said. He raised one eyebrow, like the word cruel surprised him. "Say something," I begged. "Anything." But his silence pressed harder. I felt the heat rise in my face. "Fine, don't speak." "Maybe you like watching me break." He turned his back and stirred the fire. My chest hurt. The bread tasted like sand in my mouth. "I was punished, Kane. My father gave me to you like I was nothing. Is that what you wanted? A prize? A joke?" I thought I saw his shoulders stiffen, but he gave no reply. I pushed the plate away. I will not beg you. I will not cry in front of you. He came back to the table. His shadow fell over me, large and heavy. I gripped my hands together. If you mean to hurt me, do it now. Don't make me wait. At last his eyes met mine. They were not cruel. They were something else, tired, guarded, old. I whispered, "Why won't you speak?" He lowered himself into the chair across from me. His silence filled the air, heavy as stone. Minutes passed. My throat felt tight. "I thought you would shout," I said softly. "Shouting is easier. Silence. Silence makes me afraid." He leaned closer. I smelled smoke and dust on him. My heart pounded. Then his lips moved. His voice was deep, low, like thunder rolling far away. "You will stay." The words cut through me like a blade. Stay. Not go. Not leave. Stay. I stared at him, unable to breathe. Why? He said nothing more, but for the first time, I believed his silence was not empty. It was a wall I did not yet understand. I sat near the fire, arms tight around my knees. Eleanor's face came into my mind again, glowing like the sun. I touched my own cheek, rough and round, and bit my lip. I heard my father's voice, "You shame me. You are weak." Those words still pressed on my chest like iron shackles. Cain moved closer, silent as the desert wind. His eyes rested on me, steady, unreadable. He said nothing, but his gaze cut through me. I wanted to scream, "Don't look at me!" I felt exposed, like a thief caught with stolen bread. I whispered, "Why do you stare?" Cain shrugged. "I only see a woman." I laughed bitterly. "Not beautiful, not thin. Not good." He tilted his head. "I never said those words." My throat tightened, but I said nothing more. Later I went to fetch water. The bucket felt heavy, though my arms were strong. I heard voices behind the barn, sharp and mocking. "Look at her," one man said. "The fat gift. The useless bride her father gave." The others laughed. Their words stabbed me deeper than knives. I froze, hiding by the wall. Their cruel laughter rolled over me, crushing my breath. I clenched my fists. My nails dug into my palms. Hot rage filled my chest, but shame held me down. I thought, maybe they are right. Maybe I am nothing. Suddenly boots thudded against the ground. Cain's deep voice broke the air like thunder. "Enough!" he barked. "Leave this place," the men stammered. "We meant no harm. Go!" Cain roared, his hand on his knife. The laughter died. Feet shuffled away. Silence returned. I stepped from the shadows, shaking. Cain turned to me, his eyes dark. "They will not speak again," he said. I swallowed hard. Why defend me?" His jaw tightened. He walked closer, slow, deliberate. "Because," he said, voice low, "you are mine." The words struck me like fire. I stared at him, my heart racing. I wanted to ask more, but fear stopped me. Did he mean I was his property? Or did he mean something else? Something terrifyingly tender? Cain returned before dusk. He carried meat wrapped in cloth. He placed it near the fire and pushed it toward me. "I don't need thanks," he said flatly. I stared at the food. "Why do you help me?" "You are here." "You must eat," he answered. The fire cracked between us. I felt uneasy, yet the smell of roasted meat filled the hut. I took a bite, chewing slowly. "You could let me starve," I whispered. He shook his head. "Starving is for enemies." "You are not," I kept silent. My hands trembled. The taste was strong, smoky. "Eat more," he urged. "I don't understand you," I admitted. "You don't need to," he replied. The next morning I woke to find folded clothes near the fire. Soft deerskin neatly sewn. I touched the fabric. Warm, smooth. I looked at Cain. "You made these?" His eyes lowered. "Yes, you need warm clothes." "Why?" I asked again. He met my gaze. "Because winter kills faster than knives." I put the clothes on. They were heavy but gentle. My body felt less exposed. "You don't act like a jailer," I murmured. "Maybe I'm not," he said simply. Later, he led me outside. The horses shifted in the corral. Their breath rose in white clouds. Cain brushed a black mare with calm strokes. "Come closer," he said. I hesitated. "I don't know how." "Then learn." His tone was firm but not cruel. I stepped forward. My hands shook as I touched the horse's mane. She won't hurt you, Cain explained. The mare flicked her ears and nudged my shoulder. I laughed despite myself. She's softer than I thought. Animals show truth, Cain said. Not like people. His words stayed in me. My father never trusted animals. He only trusted coins and rules. In the afternoon, an elder Apache woman came to the camp. Her hair was long, streaked with silver. She carried a small basket of roots. "Cain," she greeted, her voice low. He nodded. "Grandmother." She looked at me with deep, searching eyes. Then she smiled. "You are afraid." "That is normal." I lowered my head. "I am lost." She placed a hand on mine. "Lost people can still find strength." She showed me how to grind roots for medicine. Her fingers moved steady and sure. "Why teach me?" I asked softly. "Because you will need yourself," she said. Cain watched us but said nothing. His silence weighed heavy, yet his eyes seemed less sharp. That night I sat by the fire, my hands smelling of herbs. The elder's words circled in my head. I whispered, "Am I a captive? Or am I safe?" Cain looked up from sharpening his knife. "You are both," he said. My chest tightened. "How can that be?" "Fear makes chains," he said. "Trust breaks them." "I don't know if I can trust you," I confessed. "Then wait. Time will show." Days passed. I learned to set small traps, to wash clothes in the river, to tie knots for the horses. Cain gave instructions but never shouted. "Do this," he would say. "Why should I?" I asked once. He answered, "Because I don't plan your death. I plan your life." His words struck me harder than the cold wind. I wanted to argue, yet I stayed silent. Lucas closed the door and leaned close. "I need to tell you something," he whispered. I felt my chest tighten. "What is it?" "It's about your father," he said. My hands shook. "My father?" Lucas nodded. "He promised Cain weapons." I stared at him. "Weapons? Why?" "He wanted Cain to take you in exchange," I gasped. "So I was payment?" Lucas shook his head. "No, Cain refused." I blinked fast.
"He refused the weapons?"
"Yes, he said he wanted you, not guns." My throat closed. "You mean he chose me?" Lucas sighed. "That's what I'm telling you." I walked back and forth. My heart beat too fast. "So my father gave me away?" I whispered. Lucas frowned. He thought it was a trade. "A trade for what?" I asked. "For his land, for his power, for peace," he said. I felt sick. He betrayed me for money. Lucas touched my shoulder. Cain did not. I looked at him. Why would Cain refuse weapons? He could fight better with them. He said weapons bring more war. He wanted something real. I bit my lip. "Me," Lucas nodded. "Yes, you." The door burst open. Cain stormed in, his face dark. "They are coming," he said. "Who?" I asked. "Raiders, paid by your family's friends." My stomach dropped. "What do they want?" "They want me dead," he said flatly. Lucas cursed under his breath. "Then we must run," I said. Cain shook his head. "No, we fight." Outside, smoke rose in the distance. Horses cried. Men shouted. I grabbed Cain's arm. "You can't fight them all." "I must," he answered. "Why?" I asked. "Because if I fall, they take you." His words cut deep. I stared at his scarred face. "You can't leave me," I whispered. He looked at me. "I will not leave. But if I die, remember I chose you." Tears blurred my eyes. "Don't say that." We rushed outside. Dust filled the air. Arrows flew. Men charged the ranch, shouting like wolves. Cain grabbed his rifle. Lucas loaded his pistol. I hid behind the fence, heart racing. Cain shouted, "Stay low!" I nodded, pressing my back to the wood. Gunfire cracked. Smoke stung my nose. I heard men scream, horses crash, steel clash. My body shook with every sound. "Where are they from?" I cried. "Your nobles," Cain shouted back. "Your blood sent them." My heart broke. "My own people?" "Yes," he growled. Betrayal in blood. One raider ran close. Lucas shot him down. Another climbed the fence. I threw a stone. He fell, cursing. Cain moved like fire, strong but wounded. I saw his shirt tear, blood running down. "Cain!" I screamed. "I'm fine," he barked, but he staggered. I ran to him, catching his arm. "You're bleeding!" I cried. He pushed me back. "Stay safe." "I can't," I said. "I can't lose you." "Then pray," he said, raising his rifle. The fight grew louder. More men came. The ground shook under horses' hooves. I smelled sweat, smoke, and iron. Lucas shouted, "Behind you!" Cain turned too late. A sword cut across his chest. I screamed and struck the raider with a stick. He fell, and Cain shot him down. Blood soaked Cain's shirt. His face grew pale. I held him up. "Stay with me. I must fight," he gasped. "No, you must live," I begged. He smiled faintly. "I live because of you." Arrows whistled past. One hit the barn. Flames rose, crackling in the dry night. Men shouted and ran as smoke covered the sky. The ranch burned, red against the black. I pulled Cain toward cover. "We must hide," I cried. "No," he said. "We stand here." I saw his scars in the firelight. Marks of battles past, wounds that healed ugly. To me, they were not shame. They were survival, strength, proof of life. "Cain," I whispered, "your scars are stories." He looked at me. "Do you hate them?" "No," I said. "I need them. They show you lived." His hand touched mine. I woke early with smoke in my hair. The fire from last night still burned low. My hands smelled of wood and ash, but I did not mind. "Girl," the elder Apache called, "come here." I walked over with my head low. "You cook well," he said, tasting the beans. "You clean with care. And you stand when danger comes. That is courage." His words warmed me more than the fire. I smiled, shy but proud. Lucas came near. "You look tired. You do too much." "I do enough," I said. "You were never made for this life," he muttered. I dropped the pot. "Do not call me weak again." His eyes widened. "I meant no harm. I change, Lucas. I work, I fight, I stay. You think I cannot survive, but I can. Do not doubt me again." He bowed his head. "I will not." Later, I carried water from the stream. My arms shook, but I kept walking. 2 women laughed softly nearby. "She learns fast," one said. "Yes," the other agreed. "She is not like before." Their words filled me with a strange joy. For the first time, I felt worth. That night, Cain sat across the fire. His eyes followed me as I stirred the pot. I avoided his gaze, but I felt the heat. "You walk stronger now," he said. "Because I must," I answered. "You could still return," he told me. "Return to what?" "My father's house." "His punishments?" "His shame?" Cain said nothing. His silence gave me power. The next morning, a rider came with dust on his coat. He carried a letter sealed with my father's mark. The elder handed it to me. "Your blood calls you home." I opened it with shaking hands. The words cut deep. "Daughter, return at once. You shame me daily. Your stay with the Apache is a curse on our name. Do not make me come for you." My eyes burned. My chest felt heavy. Lucas stepped closer. "What will you do?" he asked. I looked at the fire. "I will burn it." "No." Lucas cried. "It is your father." "Yes," I said. "My father who sold me. My father who called me a burden." "I will not return." I threw the letter into the flames. The paper curled, black and broken. My chains burned with it. Eleanor's voice came to my mind. "Be brave, sister. Live your life, not his." I whispered. "I choose to stay." The elder nodded. "Then you are one of us." Lucas stared at me. "You truly mean this?" "Yes. This land, this fire, this life. It is mine now." That evening I washed the pot at the stream. The water was cold, but my hands felt strong. I saw my reflection. My face was darker, sharper, alive. A shadow moved behind me. It was Cain. "You cook, you clean, you defend. You burn letters. You burn shame. You are no gift." I turned slowly. His eyes held mine like fire. "You are fire," he whispered. My heart raced. My breath caught. For the first time, I did not fear the flame. The dust rose as riders came. I knew that sound. My heart beat fast. When the gates opened, I saw him. Lord Harrington, my father, with soldiers behind him. His eyes burned when he looked at me. He spoke first. "Daughter, you shame our family. Come with me." I stood still. "I will not go." His face turned red. "You will obey me." "You are mine." I shook my head. "I belong to no one." "Not anymore." The soldiers watched, silent. Cain stood near me. He said nothing, but I felt his strength. His shadow touched mine. Father raised his hand. "Do you defy me?" "You ungrateful girl." I lifted my chin. "I lived in your house, but I never lived in peace." "I will not return," he laughed coldly. "Look at you. Fat, weak, foolish. Who would want you but this savage?" The words cut me. I almost cried, but then I breathed deep. I met his eyes. "You never saw me. You saw only what I ate, what I weighed. But I am more than that, he sneered. Do not speak like a lady. You are nothing but dirt. Cain's hand touched my shoulder. Just a light touch, but it gave me fire. I said louder. You call me dirt, but I know my worth. You gave me a way to suffer. He gave me back my voice. Father's mouth twisted. That Apache? He is a dog. He cannot give you honor. I stepped forward. My voice shook, but I did not stop. He gave me respect. He gave me safety. You never gave me love. The soldiers shifted. I saw doubt in their eyes. Father snapped. Silence. You are my blood. You will kneel. I shouted back. No! I am not your shame. I am not your slave. I am me. The wind blew hard. My dress pulled at my legs. My heart beat like drums. Cain stood close, arms crossed, eyes steady. Father spat on the ground. You speak with his tongue now. You are lost, I said. I found myself. You only lost me, he glared at Cain. Do you enjoy this? Watching her bark like a stray? Cain stayed silent, but his body was stone. His silence was louder than 1,000 words. I whispered to Father, you cannot break me again. His eyes burned darker. You will regret this, I shook my head. I already regret the years I lived under your roof. The soldiers moved closer. My knees shook, but my voice held. Leave, you cannot command me here. This land is not yours. Father's lips trembled. He looked at me as if I were a stranger. Then his voice cut the air. You are dead to me, the word stabbed, sharper than steel. But I did not fall. Cain's hand pressed mine firm and warm. I held his grip, my chest hurt, but I stood tall. My father turned his horse. Dust swallowed his figure. The soldiers followed. I whispered, half to Cain, half to myself. I am free. Cain said nothing. He only stayed beside me, his silence stronger than any oath. I looked at the sky. Clouds rolled like heavy curtains. My heart carried scars, but it also carried fire. For the first time, I felt the weight lift. Not gone, but lighter. My father's curse still rang in my ears. Yet, deep inside, I knew. His power over me was broken. I breathed deep. My voice was small but firm. He may call me dead, but I am alive. More alive than ever. The wind carried my words across the land. Cain's hand stayed in mine. I closed my eyes and felt the truth. Cain looked at me with steady eyes. Your father is gone, he said softly. I nodded. He left in fury. I saw it. He will not return soon, Cain added. I whispered. I do not fear him now. Cain reached for my hand. His grip was warm, not commanding. Do you trust me? He asked gently. I stared at him. I want to. You can, he said. I am not master. Then what are you? I asked. He smiled faintly. Partner. Only partner. I let silence hold us. The air outside carried dust and light. For the first time, my chest felt calm. I never thought I'd hear that word, I said. Neither did I, Cain replied. But it is true. We walked outside the cabin. The hills stretched wide, golden under the sun. I breathed deep. This place feels like healing, Cain nodded. It is home, if you want. I was sent here as punishment, I said. Yes, he answered, but punishment made you strong. Do you really believe that? I asked. I do, Cain said firmly. I see it, my voice broke. I lost so much. You gained too, he whispered. I lost my family's love, I said. You gained your worth, he said. I touched my chest. My worth? Yes, maybe. Later I found Eleanor's letter under the door. I froze, staring at her handwriting. Cain asked, what is it? My sister, I said. She wrote to me. Do you want to read it? He asked. Yes, I whispered. I opened the folded paper. Forgive me, it began. I stayed silent when Father hurt you. I should have spoken. I was weak. You were brave. I was not. I pray you find peace and love. Tears blurred my eyes. Cain touched my shoulder. What does it say? She is sorry, I said. And you? He asked. I forgive her, I said slowly. It was not her hand that struck me. It was his. And his anger is his. I folded the letter with care. It means something, I told Cain. Yes, he agreed. It means you are seen. I whispered. For once, I am not invisible. We sat near the fire that evening. Shadows danced against the wooden walls. Cain said, do you regret staying here? I shook my head. No, not now. Even after what your father did? Yes, I said firmly. Even then, I watched the flames rise. My life began with his betrayal, but it does not end with it. Cain's eyes shone. Then your road is clear. I nodded. The road beyond is mine. He smiled gently. Say it again. The road beyond is mine, I repeated. And you will walk it strong, he said. Not alone, I whispered, looking at him. No, he answered, not alone. The night air wrapped around us. I closed my eyes and breathed deep. For once my heart carried no chains. I remembered his anger, but I felt peace. I remembered the pain, but I felt light. I remembered the punishment, but I felt free. I opened my eyes and spoke the truth. I was sent away as punishment, but I found myself instead.